All right, earnings are in, guys. Palantir's numbers are out, and their stock, kind of like what we talked about in the last video, we hinted to it a little bit, right? Their stock is giving back all of the gains after the bell. Their stock closed at, I think, $23.30 yesterday, and to give you an idea, right now, after the bell, we're at $23.75 at the recording of this video. So initially, when the numbers came out, Palantir shot up from around $25 all the way to the mid 26s. So at one point we were up around, let's see, 5%, and now we're down again, like I said, to 23.75-ish. And of course, this is subject to change, but as of now, when the numbers just came out, we're now down about 10% from the after the bell high, and overall, all the gains from today have been erased. So Palantir reported 8 cents of GAAP EPS, which came in line with the expectations, and sales beat $634 million versus $625 million expected. So in line GAAP EPS, while they beat on revenue. And for guidance, you guys can see they see Q2 revenue of $649 to $653 million versus the $653 million expected. So the lower end of that range is a little bit under the guidance, not the end of the world, but it is a bit lower. And full year 24 revenue came in at 2.67, or they're guiding rather for 2.67 to 2.68 billion versus 2.71 billion expected. So a little soft there on revenue guidance for the full year. And for Q2, again, not the end of the world, but a little soft there. And it looks like Q1 government revenue was $335 million versus the $324 million expected. So that segment beat. And commercial revenue, let me see, guys, $299 versus $290 million. All right, pretty good. And it looks like here Palantir boosts its earnings forecast on strong AI demand, and the stock gains. Actually, that's not true. I'm not sure why that says the stock's gaining. Well, I guess initially it did, but now we're actually, like I said, giving back all the gains. Now let me show you guys the actual earnings release, which you're seeing right here, right in front of your eyes, right? So these are the Q1 2022 highlights. And let me actually make my big old face, a little bit smaller. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. Bear with me. There we go. I'll pop my head down here and I'll zoom in a bit on what you guys really want to see. Obviously not my face. You guys want to see these numbers, right? So take a look here. GAAP net income of $106 million, representing a 17% margin, right? That's actually the 6th consecutive quarter of GAAP profitability. Phenomenal. GAAP income from operations of $81 million, representing a 13% margin, and that's their 5th consecutive quarter of GAAP operating profitability. You guys can see with GAAP earnings per share of 4 cents, or EPS, adjusted EPS of 8 cents, and revenue grew 21%, which if you guys watched my video last night, you saw that's pretty much what we were expecting, right? 21% year over year, and 4%, let's see, quarter over quarter to $634 million. So they grew quarter over quarter, not by much, but they grew, and year over year as well. And when it comes to U.S. commercial highlights, let me show you this. Commercial revenue in the U.S. grew 40% year over year and 14% quarter over quarter to $150 million. And U.S. commercial customer count grew 69% year over year and 19% quarter over quarter to 262 customers, with a lot more growth to go, in my personal opinion, and you guys, I'm sure, will agree as well for the most part. What do you guys think, by the way? Let me know down below in the comments. But look, U.S. commercial remaining deal value, RDV, grew 74% year over year and 14% quarter over quarter. And let's bang through these other numbers here, guys. What do we have here? Commercial revenue grew 27% year over year and 5% quarter over quarter to almost $300 million. Government revenue, 16% growth year over year, 3% quarter over quarter to $335 million, with U.S. government revenue growing 12% year on year, 8% quarter on quarter. And it looks like here, Adjusted income from operations of $226 million. Cash from operations of $130 million, representing a 20% margin. Adjusted free cash flow of $149 million, representing 23%. Let's see, margin. And here you guys can see the guidance, which we covered a couple of minutes ago, but quickly looking at it here, again, you guys can see they project revenue for Q2 of $649 to $653 million. Adjusted income of operations, or from operations, excuse me, between $209 to $213 million. And let's see here, guys. They're raising their revenue guidance to be between $2.67 and $2.68 billion, but it's still slightly under that 2.71 like I showed you earlier. That was the analyst expectations. It is what it is, not the biggest deal. It looks like they're raising their U.S. commercial revenue guidance to in excess of $661 million, representing growth of at least 45%. And by the way, this is for full year 2024, right? And it looks like they're raising their adjusted income from operations guidance to between $868 to $880 million. They continue to expect adjusted free cash flow of between $800 million to $1 billion, and they continue to expect GAAP operating income and net income in each quarter of this year. And of course, once that earnings call goes live, which you guys can see, it's at 5 p.m. right now. It's not even 4:30 p.m. when I'm making the video, but when the earnings call goes live, expect a lot more volatility, right? And honestly, now that I'm about to go back to the charts, I wouldn't be surprised if we're at a completely different price. Yes, look at that, guys. We're now dumping under 23 bucks. Holy crap, this is nuts. Did we not talk about this in the last video, guys, which is it's so risky, which is why it's so risky to take earnings plays and try and gamble on earnings. Look at where we're at now. We're actually in the red. Believe it or not, Palantir is in the red now, which we called this to a T. Did I not say buy the rumor, sell the news event? Could be playing out in the last video, and that's exactly what happened here, guys. Look, we're now at 22.50 after the bell. We closed at 25.50. Pretty much, almost. Now we're down 11% after the bell, and from the highs, we're down 15% from the highs from just 15 minutes ago. This is nuts on Palantir, guys. And let me see on the 5-day. Let me pull this up. We're actually getting awfully close to the lows now from last week. So essentially, the entire run that we just saw has been erased. And again, earnings call could change everything. We don't know exactly what's going to come out of that. Obviously, we'll see in about 30 minutes. That could change everything. And, we could be going right back up. So for all we know, this could be a dip buy in the very, very short term. Who knows? We'll see how it, plays out over the next half hour heading into tomorrow. But overall, guys, I'm liking the earnings. From what I saw based on those numbers, not too bad at all. Now I'm looking forward to the earnings call, and if somehow, some way, hypothetically now, I don't know if this will happen, probably not, but if this stock were to go under 20 bucks somehow, maybe later this week, I will be buying this stock. We'll leave it at that. I will be buying this stock, right? So that's kind of what's going on here. Not a crazy video today, guys, in terms of 20 minutes or 15 minutes. I kind of wanted to make it quick, to the point, bang it out, and that's what we did. What do you think about Palantir, the earnings? Let me know in the comments, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more content. There's a lot more content coming. And if you guys want to see me build out my portfolio with $100 per week, I've been doing this for over a year now. Check out the Patreon down below. I started that portfolio to show you guys how it's possible to start with a smaller quote-unquote amount of money. I actually started with 50 bucks. Now I'm doing 100 bucks a week, and at some point I'm probably going to bump that up again to show you guys how over time you can start with a small amount of money and build over time. That's the idea of investing, guys. That's the name of the game. So check out the Patreon down below. QR codes right here, or go to StockSurfS.com/Patreon. I'll see you guys in there. Peace out.